Hey guys, David, BreezeFlippers. I'm back. I promised I was going to do this video, and I know there's some people that have been looking forward to it. And so I'm here. I'm going to talk about my second submission to CGC. Now, this would actually be my fourth submission to CGC because I did some a while back, like last year, year before. But these are the ones that I actually did myself. I pressed, cleaned, did all that stuff. So we're going to talk about the ones that got rejected. And there were some questions last time about what a rejected book is. It just means it didn't meet the grade. I set a grade at 9.6 or above, and I will explain to you why I did that as we go through it. But before we get started, I just want to address something before we get into the slabs and the grades. And it was just get something out front because I'll get comments on it because people will watch 5 minutes into it and then start commenting. I'm just going to tell you right now. Yes, I flip comic books. Flipping is what allows me to buy more books, upgrade my personal collection, submit more books for grading, and preserve books for long term. So I read comics, I follow storylines, I follow creator news, I collect runs. Collecting isn't one thing. Some people are going to collect to read, they collect to slab, they collect to preserve, they collect to invest, they collect to flip. They collect to build long-term equity, right? So if nobody flipped books, then liquidity would dry up, right? If nobody preserved books, there'd be no old keys left. If nobody traded books, most people couldn't afford to stay in the hobby. So there's room for every type of collector. I'm going to flip some, I'm going to keep some, I'm going to read some, and I'm going to preserve some. That's participation, guys. That's how I do books. That's how I collect. You collect the way you want. And if you want to comment on how that goes, that's fine. But just know that this is the way I collect. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. So be what you want to be. Be the kind of collector that you want to be. This is what makes it fun for me. I love and have fallen in love with comics about 4 years ago. And since then, I'm learning how to enjoy them, read them, find them. This has been really the fun, the treasure hunt. I'm learning how to clean them, press them. I'm learning all the ins and outs as much as I can to do the best I can. And am I going to send books off to get graded? Yes, absolutely. I'm going to send them off and I'm going to sell them because I want to keep that money flowing in so that I keep my hobby going, right? Because I'm enjoying it. So that's my little soapbox. I'm going to jump off of that now, and we're going to go talk about this submission that I did. This was the second book of 25 that I sent in. I did have 8 pre-screen rejects. We're going to talk about those first. 2 books came back at 9.6, and the rest, well, we'll get to that. So they're better than 9.6. We'll just say that. And now I'm going to talk about the rejected books. First of all, when we're looking at this, I was going to try to look at the raw value as close as I can. I ran some numbers and just came up with some quick numbers, right? So, and I really wanted to look at what a 9.8, realistic 9.8 ceiling was on most of these books and what grade I would need to resubmit. So I actually went through, I made notes on these. I went through and looked and said, okay, why did this one fail? Why to make a grade? And after I got to looking at it, and I've learned a few tricks, even since the time I sent these off, that about getting the light just right and looking to see what may be something that I missed. And so the first one that got rejected was the Fantastic Four number 198. The realistic ceiling on this, a 9.2 to 9.4, maybe $50 to $80 realistically. Raw, I've seen them sell from between 15 and 25 depending on the condition. This one, from first glance, really good condition, okay? But after I looked at it, I realized there were some multiple spine ticks. Some actually broke color, and I didn't really notice that before because I didn't use the one tool that I should have used. And this is basically it's kind of like a loop. You sit it on here. If you can't see it, it has little like indices on there that you can actually, so I used to use this and I found it. I used to use this when I was in advertising as far as like looking at ads, and I had to look at the detail because I managed artist. This is what I used to use for detail. Well, I got that out and actually started using it for this, and it opened up my eyes, okay? So it had multiple spine ticks, and some did break color right along the edge, especially near the staples, which is very common, I guess. So I just missed it. And so other than that, there was also on the very back of the book, it was very odd. On the very back of the book, it had a like an ink stain that went across the top. It looks like a printer ink. So I don't know what else that would have been caused from, but I'm sure that's probably what hit it. So like I said, realistically, this book will probably never get higher. Probably wouldn't even get a 9.2, maybe with that color thing on there. So honestly, unless it can hit a really high grade, and I don't think I can get a high grade with this, I probably won't resubmit it. I'll just go with raw. Now, this book, next one, The Fantastic Four number 587, which was the 2011 Death of Johnny Storm. So it came in a blind bag, right? And I sent it in just thinking, well, it's in a blind bag. It's got to be pretty good. Well, and that's probably stupid, right? Because I was thinking, well, it's new. I bought it new, so I was hoping that it would be new. And that was just stupid because you can't press it in the bag. You can't take it out. I guess the reality is I should have taken it out. Lesson learned. Okay. Silly me. But I did look at it, and there's no color breaks or anything on the book. The book is actually in really good shape. But there were some ripples on the cover and the back cover. And I mean by ripples, it just looks like printer ripples of some sort. So I sent it in the poly bag. I'm not sure if I'll resubmit it. I have seen these sell for around $10 to $15. I may not be able to get that. I may be able to get that. I don't know. But because it's a key, I could try. The ceiling on that again for grading, I've seen it anywhere from a 9.8 to somewhere in the 80 to 120 range. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I have to justify to see if it's if I think it can hit 9.8, then maybe it'd be worth it, just because that's a book that I want to flip. It's not one I want to keep. So, but anyway, unfortunate. Now, this next book was actually going to be my wife's Valentine present. Yeah. Because she is a Haunted Mansion collector. And doggone it, I really did not see what was wrong with this book. I gave it a light press because it is a new book, and it does have, I'm pretty sure this one has the Marvel, what do you call it, the digital stamp in it. I have to remember. But I didn't have any problems other than, just kind of ran it through the press. But as I started to look at it, I realized that it had like some spine ticks, like ripples on the spine. It's not really necessarily anything that color breaks, no color breaks. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to take a tack iron and tack iron the edge and get it to get some of those little ticks out, because they just look like little ripples. And I can't show you guys on camera because you'd never be able to see it. But this was going to be her Valentine's gift. I had to back up and punt and find a different Valentine's gift. She still loves it though. She didn't know I had it, but it is the Haunted Mansion ~1. It is a Scotty Young book, and it's just a cool cover. I just wanted to get it graded. This was for my personal collection. Raw, this is a $20, $30 book. 9.8, it may be $60 to $100. Just depends. I've seen them on eBay right now. Somebody's got one for sale for $159. I don't think I'd ever got that, but it wasn't really going to be for that. So yeah, I was going to keep it. It was just going to go on the art. She has the entire run of the Haunted Mansion 1 through 4. And then we have have several variants of some of them. And that's all like in her spare bedroom. She's got a little thing set up with the Haunted Mansion. She's big time Haunted Mansion. She loves Haunted Mansion. So anyway, I don't know if I'll resend it. I talked to her about it last night and told her, and she kind of laughed, and she's like, "So what'd you get me?" I'm like, "I'm not going to tell you." But anyway, she said, just put it in we'll put it in a comic protector slab, the ones you get from, I forget what they're called, comic capsule, and we'll just hang it up there. So, all right, this next one was also for me. I wasn't expecting to get this to sell because I absolutely love this. This is Harley Quinn number 24. This is the KRS variant from 2023. It's just, I love the cover, guys. This is great artwork. The inside, the book was good. I mean, it was great, but I just love the cover on this. I don't know why. It's got a lot of little things if you really look at it. It's got like you got to really look at it. If you ever get one, look it up. It's got like a picture of Wonder Woman in the back from one of the Wonder Woman comics. It's got like a little Batman doll down there with the kid. I don't know. It's just like there's so much detail. There's the Joker with all the pins in it, like a voodoo doll. It's just hilarious. And I thought it was funny. And I just like the cover. And so I had pulled it off the wall because it was in a comic capsule. And I sent it in, and I thought it would be all right. I did give it a quick press, but after I looked at it, I realized there's a dent on the left side to the left side of the top. And I didn't see it until I turned the book and really looked at it. So I could clean and press and send it in again if I really want to get it graded. Excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. Gosh, I couldn't stop that in time. But I'm probably not gonna. I'll probably just keep it. If I find a better version of it sometime down the road, I'll do that. I'll probably put it back up in the comic capsule and put it back on the wall. All right, next one. All right, sorry about that. So there was a reason why I did this next book, and it was I've collected the whole run, with the exception of I need one more book to make it a whole run, and I will find one. I'm going to probably find it graded, but I've read the whole run and I loved it. This is the Batman Adventures, and the reason I love the Batman Adventures, it's the original kind of version cartoon, and I love the cartoon style, and I just liked it. It just appealed to me, so I collected the whole run. I read the whole run. I enjoyed it. So I was going to get this one, and I had a couple others that I was going to get graded in that run. But I wanted to send this one off first to see if it would go. And it did not. So I started looking at it and was really looking at it and realized that it had multiple spine ticks that didn't come out in the pressing. So it needs a tack iron. And now I can see them. When you put the plastic on it, it's weird because you can actually see them. So I'm sure that's the only thing. Otherwise, I mean, it's got square corners. I mean, this was a clean book. I really thought that it would do better, but it didn't. So realistically, I've seen these things, you know, if it got a 9.6, it'd be worth about 50 bucks. 9.2s were 40. I think if you got a 9.8 or higher, you could get 100 to 110, but it wasn't because I was wanting to sell it. I was just wanting it to be part of that whole run. And at some point, if I ever did want to sell it, the whole run, I'm waiting. Batman 12, by the way, Batman Adventures 12 is the one that I'm missing. I have a facsimile of 12, which is the first appearance of Harley Quinn, but it's expensive, and I'm still looking for the right one. I really want to find one that I can send in. All right, so we'll keep moving along here because I don't want to take too long on the ones that didn't do well. But here we go. Fantastic Four, number 166. The likely grade on this one is probably, if I go back and look at it, maybe a 9.2 or a 9.4. It just didn't make a 9.6, and the reason why is it had multiple spine ticks on the side that were breaking color. And after I looked at it again, I realized that the pressing did great. I cleaned it really well, but it just needs to get at least a 9 or a better in order to be worth anything. I'm gonna kind of look at this and see if I can go back and do a little more work on it. This one may get resubmitted, and I may just do it without the grade to stop it. And if I do, that's only because I will you know, take whatever it gets on there, because at a 9 or above, it could be okay. It'll make something. At a 9, it wouldn't make a lot, but anything below a 9 doesn't make sense. So it has to hit 9, so I got to really look at it. All right. My favorite run, one of my favorite series. This is the one, I have some on the wall. I don't have 3. I wanted 3, and I was really hoping that it would get a better grade. But the reality is, it didn't. It didn't even get anything, so obviously got rejected. It's not a big selling book, but I have the entire run, and I wanted to get some graded. I eventually would like to get them all graded. I read it. It's great. I loved it. But I wanted to get them graded and preserved. But I mean, realistically, even in a 9.8, it's only worth about $90 to $100. And anything less than a 9.6, it just isn't going to be worth it. But what I have right now are 9.6s, 9.6s, and 9.4s on the books that I do have graded. So I could send it in and do a little cleaning, but what I noticed was there are multiple spine ticks that did break color on the side. And I think there might be a little bit, if I look at it, it's a little bit of rounding of the corners. So honestly, I don't know if it can get better than, I don't know. Maybe it's in the 8 range. I don't know. We'll have to see. So I'm going to have to take a look at it. I'll probably keep it raw. It's just not really worth sending in. All right. Last but not least of the rejects. This one was purely speculation because I wanted to, because I've seen some that sell pretty well, and they have sold. But this is Marvel number 22. Cool cover though. I like the color and the cover and the whole artwork on it. Could 9.8s are around 120, 9.6 is 65, 9.4s are 34 bucks. So anything less than a 9.6 wouldn't be worth it. And I'm not sure. It has multiple spine ticks that after I started looking at it, I think it's just because there's a ripple in it. And you guys know why spine ticks happen. If you're not a comic collector, but basically people pull them up out of the bins and they bend them one way or the other. And that just puts stress on the spine. That creates a little spine tick. And if you do it enough in one area, the color is going to break. And it just basically when it breaks color, it's just the color moves apart and that's it. And then there's a white center and there's nothing you can do to fix those. Those are the cap. That's it. So those are the first ones, and you know, they were the rejects. But again, this is you know, I have to go back and look at them. And the reality is what I've learned so far, that it's a very clear pattern, is that if you're you know, a modern book really needs to hit 980 or better. If it's not hitting a 980 or better, most modern books, you're probably you know, not going to make money. Well, you might in some cases, depending on the popularity of the character and the run. But, and then bronze books really, to be in the real money is 9.4 or better. So I don't know. Some of those, I'm just going to have to kind of go back and look at it. If the juice ain't worth the squeeze, then I'm not going to do it. All right, let's get into the fun stuff. All right, here is the first submission. And why did I do this one? One was because it's just a cool cover. This is War Stories number 13, and I like the witch. Now, this may end up being, it's a 9.6, and it may end up being in our collection because my wife also, amongst her other things she collects, witches. She loves witches. I should have just given this to her as a Valentine's gift. Duh. Anyway, she loves witches, and this one, she actually loved this cover. So 9.6, and the reason why is it had a back cover crease. To be honest with you, I've really looked at it over and over, and you know, so they see something I don't. So I'm going to inspect it again really close to see if I can figure out why, but I couldn't figure it out. I mean, I didn't really see a back cover crease, but that's what got it a 9.6. The next book was Uncanny X-Men number 277 from 1991. This is the let's see, this is a key. It's Deathbird Gladiator, Shadow King, Starjammers, and Lilandra appearance. Direct editions have upper deck insert. So this one had the upper deck insert on it as well, but it got a 9.6. And I mean, it's a cool cover though, right? But this one is kind of nice because 9.6 range, it's probably $70, $80. Somebody's going to want this for their collection because it's a cool cover. So you got to love it. Got Wolverine on the front. But anyway, it said that the color breaks on it. It had a color break. So I didn't see a color break on it when I did it. But it was only one apparently because it got a 9.6. So if you get too many color breaks, you won't get any at all. But I don't see it. Now, again, well, you know what? I might see it actually. Just now, the light just hit it just right. It's right there. It's actually on the spine. I just now saw it. I'll be danged. All right, anyway, 9.6. So it's going to go for sale. It wasn't one that I was keeping for my collection, but I'm definitely going to probably sell that one and kind of help make it back. All right, let's get into the good ones. Now, none of these have any notes on them, so you're just going to go with what we got. One of my favorite books. Actually, you need to go send this one, send the picture to my son-in-law because he actually got me this through one of his friends because he wanted me to look at his comics. And I went through them and said, look, I'll give you this much for him. And he's like, I really didn't want to sell them. But then he goes, but you know, if you want to make a deal for a couple of them. And I said, okay, this was one of them. And this is the Venom Lethal Protector. Let me close this down, guys. All right. Whew. Let me get some lights on in here and see if we can actually do this a little differently so you don't have to glare. I'm sorry about that. Here we go. Let's see if that's better. Nope, that's not much better. This, and I'll tell you why, we're going to keep playing with this. Hang on a second. All right. I'll tell you why this is a hard book to get a good grade on. Is because it's foil, and the foil breaks very easily. And I've noticed that on a lot of books. But this one came out in 9.8, and I'm very happy with it. This is the first Venom appearance in his own title. So it has the nice, and I have two more of these, and I went through them and picked out the best one. I did press this one. Foils are hard to press. There's just no light in here, guys. I got to figure this out someday. All right. Foils are hard to press. There's no question about it. You got to do them a little bit differently. And I watch Immaculate Comics a lot, and I've learned some from him, and I've read a lot. So, and I also have a book that I've been reading about how to do it, but I managed to do okay on this one. So a 9.8, very happy with it. Realistically, 90 to 130 bucks is somewhere in that range. Again, one of those, I probably will list it a little bit higher so I can enjoy it a while. That's bad, right? But I want to enjoy it for a while, and then if it sells, it sells. So, but one of the books that I really did like, I do have a lot of Venom books. Next one, Joker, Harley Quinn uncovered foil, just a cool cover. I thought this was cool, and it is a, I believe this one is a virgin. Yeah, it is a virgin. And let's see, hold it this way, maybe I can see better. But it's hard to see because it is a foil. Again, black foil, that's a hard one. 9.8, I was tickled. I fully expected this one, if any of them could get something. I looked at it with a fine-tooth comb. And the other thing you have to do on these books is use gloves. And you have to clean off everything. I used a soft Swiffer, what do you call it? Swiffer, I think it is. Little pads, little tiny pads that just clean it all off. And I wiped them all down really good because they will retain fingerprints, and they will reject it for fingerprints. So when they open the books up, they're using gloves. I'm using gloves when I'm cleaning them finally, and my final cleaning and putting it inside the bag and board, I use a little cleaner and clean them all off. Now, this one, if you know who Breeze Comics is, or you would see him online. You can go to Breeze Comics, you can take a look. I do follow him, and he has a great little store. He sells a lot of slabs, but he put out a blind bag a while back, and I ended up buying, I think 3 of them or 4 of them. I don't remember. Anyway, they weren't much. I think 30-something bucks a piece, but one of them I got was the Red Hulk #1. It was a Virgin edition, and it was just a cool cover. And I was like, you know what? It was in there when I was looking for books to send in. I thought, I'm going to send this one in because it does have a little bit of value to it. I have some money invested in this one, probably more so than some of the other books, because some of those books I have very little invested in as far as the raw goes. But I ended up getting a 9.8 on that one. And again, $60 to $80, probably started out in that area somewhere. All right, so some of these next books you're going to say, why didn't you send these in? But I'm going to tell you, it's because they're collectors. And I know these because I sell a lot of them raw. And I also see a lot of them selling slabbed because people want them for the artwork. And I got to tell you, these books, you've got to have good artwork on the front. If it's just a boring book, no one's going to want it because they'd rather see what's inside. But this one is a 9.8, Lady Death, Eternal Sabbath, #2. Again, $60 probably to $75 is probably what I asked for it. But because it's such a pretty cover, this is great art. I mean, somebody would hang that on their wall. Yeah, sure. So 9.8 on that one. I was tickled to death. And a lot of these books, I didn't have to do much on those. Fingerprints, cleaning. I didn't press them if they didn't need it, but I did clean them off really well. I get them all brand new, so they come to me brand new. So I'm able to, make sure that they're good and clean them off and then get them on their way. Now, I suppose if I took a little bit more time and figured out anything, I don't know what the difference between a 9.8, 9.9, and a 10 is. They all look pretty perfect to me, but who knows? This next one is also Lady Death, Sacrificial Annihilation. I love the cover on this. Isn't that pretty? So again, artwork. Somebody's going to want this because there are collectors out there that collect it for art. I noticed the one thing in these books that all came back is a lot of times they never moved, but these actually are moving now. And maybe that's the new way they're doing it so they don't get the bend. None of these have the bend, and none of them have the Newton circles on them. So Newton, what do they call them? Newton rings. So it came out really nice. So anyway, I love the cover on that one. And this one's a foil one. I think it was a premium foil edition. So, and I only sent in the ones that were like premium or like really premium. All right, next one, another one. Again, these are the ones I'm going to make the money back on because people are going to buy them because of the artwork. This is Lady Death, Blasphemy Anthem #2. Again, a beautiful cover. And again, lights are terrible because it's a foil cover, so it's a little bit harder to see. But it is an absolutely beautiful cover. And this one got a 9.8. Just kind of, again, going through prices. probably list it in the $70, $80 range, maybe more. I can always list it high and take an offer. So we'll see what people want to offer. And I've sold a lot of these books. I sell a lot of them signed as well, and they do pretty well. So I'm always happy to get these books, and I do purchase a lot of them wholesale. So they're kind of cool. All right, another Lady Death book, but I just love the cover on this one. So this is the reason I got this one. Lady Death Imperial Requiem #2. This is the Elite Edition. And man, this is another, again, this would look good on a wall if you were displaying art, right? And I just think it is. So one thing I will say about their covers and their art, it's very well done. Coffin Comics has done a very good job with their stuff, and it just has made a big difference, I think, in how they're, from where they were at Chaos to now to where they are. I think they've done a great job. All right, so that's all of Lady Death for the moment. We'll get to some more in a minute, but let's go to the next one. This is Uncanny X-Men #272, and this is a 9/8. It's the New Mutants and X-Factor appearance of Punisher, She-Hulk, Reed Richards cameo, and then the direct editions have the Tiger Electronics insert. So this one has the Tiger Electronics insert on it, and it is a good-looking cover. I love that cover. I've sold a bunch of raw of these, and I actually had several of them. And so I just cleaned this one, pressed it, and sent this one in. So this was a win. So actually is an older book. So as you were seeing, I was more successful in some of the modern books, but let's be honest, that's probably typical. But for now, I did good. So I'm happy with that. Another one of my favorites, and I just love the cover on this one, but this is the Syndicate Edition A of the Catwoman #62. So beautiful cover. I just love the art on this one. So if you've seen it, you know exactly what it is, but it's a Schverdy. I can never say his name right. Schverdy. Anyway, it's his art, and it came out really nice. So 9/8. Average, I don't know. They're not a lot. I've seen them go as low as 35, as high as 50. So we'll see if I want to sell it. This one, again, somebody's going to want it for the art. I like the cover. It was hard to do because it's a black cover, and believe me, trust me when I say it's hard to do these, but black covers are always tough. This is Power Girl #1 variant. Not the most popular variant, but one of them, and I did send off the other variant, so I did like them. This one came out nice, so a 9.8. Not a big seller again, probably $45 to $60. Somebody's going to love Power Girl. I'll run it at that, and we'll see what we get back from it. All right, we're moving through this list. I got a few more, and I got another one right here that probably is going to stay in my collection because this is one of my favorites. All right. Again, I'm a big art person. I love some of the covers on these. And this one is the 616 Comics edition, and it's a Nathan Schverdy cover again. This is Superman #18, Power Girl on the front, all tatted up. I don't know. It's just pretty, and I love it. It's a great cover. And the 9.8, this one's not a bad one. Again, not a big, huge seller. Maybe $40 to $55. Somebody's going to want one slab. Most people were buying them. I could see right now I could buy all the books for like 100, but not graded. So cool stuff, but we'll see if somebody wants it. Next one, Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Red are #5. So I sent off another one earlier about this one. It was a little different, and you guys saw it in the last one. But this is the other variant edition. I think it's the Syndicate Edition A. But definitely a cool cover. Again, somebody's going to want the art for this, and it is one of those things, like I said, preserving books, and it is a modern, yeah, sure, okay, but it is cool looking. It's got, kind of an interesting back too. But I've seen prices around $45 to $55, just depends on the buyer. So again, these all get listed. We'll kind of see where they go. I didn't even remember this one being in there. I guess I cleaned it and did it, but I do like Wonder Woman, and this was a cool cover. I just like the variant. This is a Scott variant cover. I just liked all the Wonder Womans on there. So it may stay up on the wall for a while, but it got 9.8. This is Wonder Woman #13 variant. Not a big seller again, $35, maybe $50, but I have seen some sell, and there had been some recent sales. So we'll see, but kind of cool. Like that one. All right. Best for last. Got two more. And these kind of blew me away. So now, are they, I don't know. I guess if I look at the 9/8 stack that I had so far, if you add them all up, could be in the 600 to, I got top dollar for it, it'd probably be in the $1,000 range. But if I took all those, just those 9/8, and sold them, I'll almost make back what I basically spent. so the whole thing, including the 25 that I sent off last week or the last time. So anyway, like I said, I'm trying to, come up with some realistic pricing on it that's going to be close. And these are all just kind of estimates of what I've seen over time. But now the surprises. All right. I would never expect to get anything higher than a 9/8. I just never did. But this one got a 9/9. And I was totally shocked. This is Lady Death All Hallows Evil #1. It's a CGC 9/9. It's a rare grade. We know that. 9/9s are hard to get, guys. 10s are, forget it. But 9/9s are hard to get too. It's got a strong upside sales potential because of the cover and because of what it is and being Lady Death. I will probably price it pretty high. Part of me wants to keep it, but it is numbered 172 out of 200. It is the Wishcraft edition, and it's just cool because, again, I probably could have given this one to my wife because she collects witches, but it's got a cool back cover on it too. So it is a cooler cover, but a 9/9, guys. So there's really no. There are some of the Lady Death books out there that have sold for quite a bit, and they're newer modern ones based on the art. So there are collectors, guys, that do collect it. And then last but not least, this one, I could not tell you how surprised I was, but boom, a 10. Lady Death Cybernetic Desecration #1, CGC 10. Realistically, probably will list this in the 250 to 350 range because there's none like it. I mean, this is it. And it is an absolutely beautiful cover. My daughter tells me it is a homage to a video game. And if somebody knows the video game, tell me the name because I don't remember it. Now, here's the crazy thing. This was being sent off to give to my daughter, but it came back a 10, and I'm like, sweetie, I gotta keep this one. It's a 10. It's probably gonna get sold. This is the 2D Necro Death Mata edition. I do have some more that I'm sending off, some other ones. I will get one graded for her, so she will get one, I promise. But this is a 10. This one right here could potentially pay for almost half of the total much that I invested, and everything else would be profit. It's just beautiful though. I love this cover, and I loved it from the time I got it, and my daughter did too, because she's a big video game person like I am. I cannot remember what game it is. Somebody will know out there though, you'll say it. But anyway, a 10, guys. A 10. It's perfect. How do you get a perfect? I'm blown away. When I pulled that out, I was like, are you kidding me? A 10. That one's definitely going to do good. So, and it's just because it's a unique cover, I think. And so I potentially $400 to $550 for just those two books. And that's kind of what I'm looking at. So if I add up everything that I did, and we'll get to the meat of this. This reason I'm doing this is so I can sell some of them, make some money, and buy some more stuff. The total invested graded value of the batch 2 was probably, the estimated value is somewhere around $1,100. So you got your 9/6s, your 9/8s, and your 9/9 and 10. So I'm going to look at, say, just if I was conservative, I'd say $1,000 to $1,100. If I look at what I spent, my cost analysis on batch 2, invoice after membership fees and everything, but my invoice for that one was $462.20. For invoice 1, it was $360. However, I did have $150 basically $149 a year fee that I pay, but I get $150 credit back. So kind of a wash when I look at that. So we'll just say it was $762.20 roughly, or $762.80 or $762. If you add in the $150, then it was what, in the $50 plus 100 is $8.90 range, somewhere in there. Math, you know. Anyway, I estimate the cost of the books to be around $150. So we're just going to say the total invested was about $950-ish. If I look at my, you know, the total across both, and I spent that, if I say like a conservative midpoint, say 925 that I can make on the first batch, and if I make about 1,400 on the second batch, I should bring in about $2,342 or $2,300 roughly. So if I'm kind of looking through that realistically, I'm hoping if I get like at least, I don't know, 70% of slabs that sell in the first 6 months, let's just say, because that's what they've been doing, and most of my slabs sell fairly quick. If I average out my fees and everything else and kind of take a look at this, I'm hoping to net after everything about $1,100. Maybe a little less, probably around 900, but that gives me enough money to go do something else, guys. So I figured that's one of the reasons I'm doing it. It's like, you know, I'm trying to be very disciplined about this. This is my business and the way I like to do things. Yeah, we sell a lot of other stuff, guys. I mean, I sell everything, but comics are what I really enjoy, and I've just really been enjoying them. I've been enjoying cleaning them. To me, cleaning a comic is like adult coloring. It's just something I can sit down and do and just kind of just forget about everything else and just focus on what I'm working on. It's a lot of fun. It's also a challenge, right? To try to figure out, hey, can I get a better grade on this? Can I do this? What is this worth? And then it's kind of fun to kind of sit there. It's use the investigator in me that I like to do, and really look at a book and say, is this something that's going to bring me a good value in return? So, you know, so it's a lot of things to decide on. I mean, I will say that when I first sent in books, and that was a while back, the first batch I sent in, I didn't send in myself. I sent it through a comic book store, and it cost me a fortune. I think it was just under $900, and I want to say it was 15 books. And it was a lot because they charged me the full rate. I didn't know better, right? And then after that, I was like, oh, I learned, oh, I could do this on my own. And so I did. And then the second time I sent books in, and there were 2 different times that I sent it in, there was around 60 books or so. I used CGC to press. Won't ever do that again. They don't press. And as a matter of fact, I have some inside information that I was told that, and this is from a very reputable comic book store in that area, that said the people that say they work there, they don't even use heat on their press. They use cold pressing. Cold pressing just doesn't work for comics. It works if you want to preserve it and keep it after you press it. You can cold press it and keep it, you know, flat. It'll help it to kind of retain its shape, but it doesn't necessarily take out wrinkles and all that stuff. So if CGC did it that way, now I don't know for sure. I'm just going off what I hear. Now, if somebody works for CGC and you can dispute that and tell me, hey, we really do this, I would love to know. But I'm not going to pay the money to have you guys do it when I enjoy doing it. So I have a press. I'm getting ready to buy another press, and I'm going to buy a bigger one so I can do more. But, you know, it's fun and I enjoy it. So am I going to make a little bit? Yeah. You know, this is why I flip the comics and do that, so I can get more and do more. And I've been getting a lot of comics in, some different collections and stuff. I've been cleaning them, pressing them, and then I'm selling them on eBay raw. I will sell them that way too. And then I keep some. It just depends on what the run is. Right now I'm collecting Devil Dinosaur. I want to get the whole collection. I almost have all but 2 of the Howard the Duck series. I like the stuff that's weird, right? Some people collect Spider-Man. I collect Howard the Duck. I just like the comic. It's funny. And I'm starting now to collect Captain Carrot. I don't know why. I just love the artwork and the storyline. So I'm collecting that now. So I'm going to build those out eventually and get them completed, just like I have with Batman Adventures and some of the other ones. I have the complete run of Secret Wars. I do need a better number 8 because the one I have is terrible. But I did pick one up, but it's the cover's off. I mean, it's just bad. So I'm gonna have to do something with it, or I may just see if I can trade it for something. We'll see. But I got to get a better one of that. And I probably will get all of my Secret Wars graded at some point because I've read them. Grade them. So we'll do something with them. Now, whether I sell them or not, I don't know. I did that with my Deadpool series that I had. I had 4. I had the entire run of the Circle Chase. all 9.6s. All of them were 9.6. None of them 9.8, but ended up selling it for just about $400 for all of them. I priced it high because they were on my wall and I was enjoying them, and then somebody wanted to buy them, so I was like, okay, I sold them, and then I was like, huh, but that's what you do, right? So I did keep them, I did sell them. So anyway, I'm getting better at it. I will learn more. I'm not an expert. If you're learning to press books, I would say go out and follow some of these folks that know how to do it. Immaculate Comics is one of them that I like, and that's the one that keeps coming to my mind. There is another one too. I'll think of it in a minute, but there's a couple of them out there. Just go look it up on how to press comics. There's a bunch of people that talk about pressing. Pressing is not that hard. Actually, pressing to me is the easy part. The hard part to me is getting like spine ticks out, learning how to use a tack iron, learning some little tricks like the roller ball and getting the wrinkles out, just learning how to use certain cleaning techniques and tactics. I don't use anything liquid on my books. I don't know. I'm not that confident, but you know, I do use absorbing cleaners and such, and use that. So there's a bunch of stuff, and you can learn that very easily. I think it might be a link to a book. I will put it in there, that the book that I've been reading about how to clean comics. I find it very informative. So I'll put that in the show notes as well. So anyway, like I said, guys, I'm improving. Decent, healthy margins on those. I'm just going to keep sharpening my my process and keep sharpening what I'm doing. And we're going to send off another batch again. I'm working on the next ones now, trying to figure out what I'm going to send off. I will probably send off some moderns again because they'll sell and they make money back. I do have some that I want to try and send off. A couple McFarlane's Spider-Man that I have, that I'm going to work on those and see, because sometimes they'll do okay. So fun stuff, guys. This is always it's like I said, this is kind of like one of those things where, you know, I'm trying to learn and trying to improve, and you know, I'd love to hear your comments. Talked about what you guys have done. Have you sent any CGCs in, you know, for getting slabbed? Are you using CBCS or anybody else? Or have you only sent them to CGC? Let me know. I'd love to hear what you guys do. That's been fun, but like I said, love to see your comments. I'm David, BreezeFlippers. We'll see you.